I mean, obviously we're happy about him. With Gonzalo Pineda, he adds a lot of experience for us in midfield. He's technically very clean. He sees the game really well. Good personality, fits in really well with the group. So we're happy about him. Fabio, is what is he? The irrelevant pick, the last pick, and he made our team. And he made our team because of his effort and just he's like a big sponge. He wants to learn all the time. And technically, again, he's very clean. He's a good player. He loves to play the game. He's enthusiastic. I think he's got a good future. Michael Azira is a player who played last year with Charleston. He's a midfielder who I think can play in Ozzy's role if needed. He can also play more attacking as well. Sometimes he's the kind of player on the field that you don't notice, and you got to watch and you see all the little things he does to knit a team together. But he can be strong on the tackle. He's good with the ball. He's very simple, and again, all of them are really good in the group.
Coach, who are some of the players you're focused on in terms of Kansas City?
Kansas City, obviously they're the defending champions, and Dom Dwyer has played very well for them in preseason, and he was an integral part of their team at the end of last season. But it's their midfield really with Roselle and Feilhaber and Nagamuro that was the engine room for their team. They've had a group that's been together now for a while. Colin is certainly dangerous on set pieces, is somebody you got to worry about as well. Beasler, and they rely a lot on that long throw-in, so you got to be concerned about that. So they have different people, different options. Their outside backs like to get forward, but and then Graham Zuzi is a guy who's always able to set people up, and he's the guy you got to keep track of him, keep him at bay, not give away any unnecessary free kicks.
Is the team where you want it to be at 2 days before you start the season?
Yeah, I think we're good. Obviously, would have liked to have had Dempsey here, for the whole week prior to this game. So that's something that, we have to take into account. And he's played a lot of minutes in his last two games. But from the health standpoint of our team, I think we're pretty good. From the standpoint of where we're at fitness-wise and spirit-wise, I'm happy where we're at.
What kind of role do you expect him to be able to play Saturday, Clint?
He'll play a role for us. I got to talk to him. He lands. Here today, and we've gone back and forth on text a little bit, but I said, let's talk after you land, see how you feel after the flight and everything, and we didn't know, how many minutes he would play, but obviously he played all 93, so we'll just have to go from there.
What did you think of his performance?
His performance was okay. It was a difficult game for the team. The team looked a little bit disjointed, and it's probably it's also a strange thing when games on again, off again, where are we going to play, that kind of thing, but for Jurgen, I'm sure it answered for him some questions, and for Clint, it was I think a difficult game because the team's possession out of the back wasn't as it normally is. I think.
Do you feel like you're getting the same player that you signed last summer and even that was with you guys last year, or has anything changed essentially with Clint?
No, nothing's changed with Clint. I think I think there's a lot of pressure on him, and I think everybody should back off a little bit and not put so much pressure on him. It's a situation of he's the kind of player, he wants to perform, he wants to do well, he wants to succeed, and now all of a sudden it's his expectations that he's got to be a magic man every time he steps on the field. Doesn't have to be a magic man every time he steps on the field. He's got to be Clint Dempsey, and Clint Dempsey can do things that affect the game and impact the game and make plays by playing the way he normally plays. And so right now I think everybody's got these super high expectations, and it's a little bit unfair because he's been in difficult situations. Coming here without a preseason and jumping into an MLS season in the middle of the year is difficult. Going to a team that's fighting relegation is difficult as well, and now he comes back here. So I think with time he'll do well. We'll get him ready for Jurgen, but more so than anything we'll have him ready for Seattle.
Was this time anything you can do to relieve that pressure, or do you feel like that's even your job?
It's pressure is always there every time you step on the field, and you got to embrace it. You got to embrace it, and you have to want to deal with it, and he wants to deal with it, and he wants to embrace it. Now it's just a matter of having some things go your way. Sometimes it's just a rub of the green isn't happening for you, and you need the rub of the green to happen for you a couple of times, and then all of a sudden it's then that steam gets out of the pot, and all of a sudden you can play better. And so for him, he just needs to rub of the green a little bit.
Was his time in Fulham sort of a concession to him, or was it something that will give you back a better player and therefore benefit the Sounders?
No, it was a determination of what everybody felt was going to be the best situation in conjunction with ourselves, with him, with the national team, everything. And so for him, it was good because it allowed him to get fit and get game time in. So I'm not worried about his fitness. I'm not worried about his game time. I'm only worried about his fitness when you're asking him to play 3 games in a week across, continents. But outside of that, I think it was fine, and it was the right thing to do.
Can you bring us up to date a little bit on the camp that you've seen from Damian Lowe?
Damian's been fine. He's a young defender who's still got a lot of growth in front of him in terms of as a player, but he's done very well. He's learning all the time. I know Jimmy's talking to him a lot and so forth positionally. Needs to improve that part of his game, but he's good in the air. He's comfortable with the ball. He's not afraid to have the ball. He's a strong tackler. He's got a lot of the qualities. We're not disappointed at all with him.
Going back to Clint, is it difficult to integrate such an important piece of the puzzle so late in the season?
No, because we know him. It's not like he's coming into a team where, Oba's played with him now, Nagel's played with him already. Papa hasn't played with him, but Evans has played with him, Alonso has played with him. So we got a lot of guys now that have played with him. Last year, nobody really had played with him with the exception of Eddie and Brad, in terms of their national team experience. So I think that makes it a lot easier.
Are you planning to name a starting goalkeeper before first game?
Yeah, we'll name one. He'll be in the starting lineup on Saturday. That'll be our goalkeeper.
You're not going to tell us who that is?
Not going to tell it to you guys, no. It's my little secret. That's the only secret I'll keep for the first game.
Can we ask you again tomorrow?
You can ask me again, and I'll tell you the same thing. Leo's doing well. He's getting better. I think he's really close. It's just a matter of, we still want to see one of the things he has is he's a very hard-driven defender, and we still want to see that, final little piece of his game. But he's right there.
And Yedlin's okay?
Yedlin's fine. What kind of different things do Lamar and Kenny offer as potential partners for Oba?
Each of them is different. Obviously Lamar is a guy who's more of a slasher, a little bit of a dribbler, runs off the ball, likes to come from inside, from outside inside at times. Kenny's got a big shot. Looks for those little spaces sometimes underneath that Oba can find him, and just has to. He's good about when Oba drifts out wide that Kenny will then fill that middle space for him.
Are they both potentially good partners for Oba, or is it? I guess the question is, do you factor how well they partner with Oba into the decision, or is it really about which guy is better in a bigger picture?
I think the way we're trying to play, it's a matter of all the guys understanding each other, and it really comes down to who's in form and who's playing well. And those are the guys that are going to be out there. But it's going to be fluid. People are going to be able to move around and place change it a little bit. You're going to see Nagel in the middle, on the right, on the left. Today when we played a little bit, Oba ended up playing on the right a little bit, and Nagel was high, and that was fine. As long as they cover the spots, I don't have a problem with it.
With only 2 more training sessions, including today, what was the main objective of today's training?
Just keep it light, make sure we didn't have any injuries, but and just to work a little bit on our tactics in terms of how we're going to defend with them coming out. That was it.
Last turf seemed to get unsatisfactory in its 3rd season. You guys going into the 3rd on this one. How's it feeling right now?
It's it's not as good as it was last year. It's not as good as it was in its first year. That's just a natural thing, and it's something that once the blades lay down, they don't want to stand up anymore. And I think our grounds crew here does a great job, and I know they're going to do a fantastic job trying to lift them and get them back up and so forth, and make it a more playable surface as regards to soccer is concerned. So they're going to do all that they can, and that's all we can ask of them right now.
What kind of challenges does their formation bring Kansas City's?
Formations don't bring challenges. What brings challenges are players. You know, and obviously they've got, you know, some players. Graham Susie's very confident. You know, as I said earlier, Dom Dwyer right now is a very confident player as well. You know, they've got a midfield trio that's confident, central defenders. So there's a lot of confidence in their players. That makes them a good team.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Words are powerful. I'm Sigi Schmid. Hearing the words retard and retarded makes people with intellectual disabilities and those who love them feel like less valued members of humanity. That's why we're asking you to help spread the word to end the R word. Stop by the Special Olympics booth in Soccer Celebration to pledge your support. It's time to respect and value people with intellectual disabilities. Please join us in eliminating this offensive language in everyday speech. Thank you.